COVID-19, dial *719# or call 719. Follow us on Twitter at MOH_Kenya, at spokesperson GOK, at WHO.
Good afternoon, viewers, and welcome to Capuchin TV. Today's maiden program titled Taking Care of Your Biopsychosociotechno-Spiritual Self. Taking care of your biopsychosocial-spiritual self. This program will be running every week at this time. And we'll be bringing in different people, professionals, helping us to understand the holistic care that we can give to ourselves. In the first place, what is biopsychosocial-techno-spiritual self? It is looking at a human person from the holistic perspective, not from dualistic perspective that segregate human person in two places. Into either looking at a person physically, like a body, or just looking at the person from the spiritual or the mental health perspective. Human beings, as we have us, we are a component of different elements, and of course, different dimensions of understanding us. The bio represents the biological part of us, our physiology, that which we take to the medical doctors many times to look at whether we have a ailment like diabetes, like blood pressure, like cancer, or HIV, or whatever it is that is happening to our cells, our bodies, our hands, our legs, nose, eyes, the physical us. The one that sometimes we refer to the mask of a man, the one that is projected to people, the one that is identifying most of the times, the one that we actually name. The body. The body that is also sacred. The body that also responds to environment. The body that also responds to human thoughts and beliefs. The body that is usually taken care of in a medical way. Also, we'll be looking at human person not just from these physical perspectives and not just from the consideration of what makes the body, the parts of the body. We'll be looking at other aspects like a psychology of human person. The psychology of human person that deals with what happens with the human mind. Human mind that is so powerful, that can travel so far to the farthest part you can ever imagine, yet remaining at a spot. The human mind that cannot be touched like a body is being touched, that cannot be treated just easily like human body is being treated or performing surgery on. The human mind that is not tangible, that which is called in Greek, the psyche, the mind, the mind. And so, we'll be looking at what happens with the mind in terms of how our mind influence our thoughts, and our thoughts also influence our feelings, and our feelings influence what we do. The human thoughts or thinking, the feeling, and of course, the behavior. So in this case, we'll also be considering just human being, not just in terms of the physical, but also what human beings is capable of doing and how it can take care of him or herself from the understanding of the mind perspective and the influence on the mind on human wellness. We'll also be looking at the social part. Human beings are social beings. We interact. From the day we are born, we begin to interact not just with beings like ourselves, with our environment, with many other parts of the things we see around us. But most especially, we are usually born into the family, and we'll be looking at how our family relationship, and of course our relationship with our friends, colleagues, and people around us can also contribute to our wellness. And of course, how we can have a better approach to dealing with our environment and people that we live with, or we work with, or we school with, or we play with, how our relationship with them can contribute to our wellness. And of course, today, we know these interactions has gone beyond just physical interaction. We now have what we call a visual interaction through the means of technology. And many of us today are so interactive with our technology that we trusted and we continue to still trust even the technology than the people we can see. This can actually make us feel good many times, and then they could become the source of our problems sometimes. So we'll be looking at the interaction with technology, how they also impact our wellness. Human beings are not just defined by the body, the emotion, which is the psychology, and the social aspect of us, and not just the technology. Also, we are, like I said at the beginning, we are sacred beings, we are spiritual beings. And our connection to ourselves and to others, and of course to God, has a lot to do with our wellness. And guess what? That can also be the source of some problems. So in this program, week after week, we'll be talking about different aspects of lives that makes us understand human being as an holistic person. A person that is a whole, not just a part, not just the body, not just psychologically the mind, not just spiritually, but a total person. Because once something happens to every part of the body, it also affects every other part. Again, this episode is called the Biopsychosociotechno-Spiritual Self, taking care of that. My name is Reverend Father Dr. Joyzy Pius Egunjobi, the acting director of the Psychospiritual Institute of Luxterra Leadership Foundation, Marist International University College, Karen. I'll be your presenter, directing this program week after week, and I hope you will be following us. And maybe as the time goes on, we'll be giving you the time for asking questions if there is. You can email us, you can text us, and we'll be able to respond to your inquiries. Now, talking about this Biopsychosociotechno-Spiritual Self, again, is looking at us totally and knowing that when something happens to any part of us or any aspects of our life, it affects the whole of it. I'll give you an example. If I am angry with you, which on the part you can say that is psychological because it's dealing with the emotional part of me, it can also trigger the secretions of some hormones in my body that can cause me physical health, that can actually challenge the way I feel physically. And of course, that can make me to turn away from whoever I'm getting angry with, to begin to isolate, that from the social perspective, to interact with my technology and begin to find solace in my technology. And of course, by the time I'm in that mood, it surely may cause a disconnect between me and myself, between me and somebody else, and between me and God. Understanding human person, biopsychosocial-spiritual, techno-spiritual. Taking care of your body. The body, even though we say it looks like the marks that covers you, the real essence of a person, is that when something happens to it, it affects you in a very serious way and can cause physical pain that many of us dread. We are wired in such a way, and it's a beautiful thing God has done to human beings in such a way that you can't imagine. Every part of you is connected. Every part of you is connected. From your head to your toe to your whole body. And we'll be looking at, again, how to take care of our bodies. How do you take care of your body? How do you take care of your hygiene? Do you check? Do you make checkups? We'll be talking about that when we come back. We're going to have a short break, and then we'll come back. We'll continue from there. How do you take care of your body?
This Sunday, 20th September 2020, which will be the 25th Sunday in Ordinary Time, Capuchin TV will bring you the 34th Episcopate anniversary of His Eminence John Cardinal Njue. The Holy Mass will start from 9:30 a.m. live from Holy Family Basilica, Nairobi. Congratulations, Your Eminence, from Capuchin TV.
Daraja. Sakramenti ya daraja ndiyo sakramenti ambayo mwanamume Mkatoliki aliyeitwa na Mungu hupata mamlaka na neema ya kuendeleza ndani ya kanisa utume Kristo aliyowakabidhi mitume wake.
Kupata daraja kama Skiza Tune yako, tuma neno Skiza likifuatwa na nambari 738100270, utume kwa 811. Liturujia Katoliki, sakramenti, kuungama, ekaristi, sala, nyimbo, neno la Mungu, ibada takatifu. Jiunge nasi kila siku ya Jumapili saa 1:30 usiku na Jumatatu saa 4 asubuhi kwa liturujia Katoliki na Padre Boniface Mukwe. This Saturday, 19th September, the Congregation of the Mission or the Vincentian Priests and Brothers in East Africa will have priestly ordination of Deacon Julius Minor Joseph and Deacon Mike Mugusu Masita. The Holy Mass will start from 10 a.m. The main celebrant will be Right Reverend Dominic Kimmengich, Bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Eldoret. This event will be live from DePaul Center Karen in Nairobi on Capuchin TV and in all our social media platforms.
Welcome back again. Once again, my name is Reverend Father Dr. Joyzy Pius Egunjobi from the Psycho-Spiritual Institute, Marist International University College, Karen, Nairobi, Nigeria. Oh, Kenya. Sorry, I'm a Nigerian, that's why I say Nigeria. And then again, before we went on short break, we did talk about the topic that we are dealing with. Actually, this whole program, what it's all about, is taking care of your biopsychosocial-spiritual, techno-spiritual self. And I ended up by asking the question, how do you take care of your body? Taking care of the body in this case, it's not just about the hygiene, not just about how do you take your shower, or how do you, make up or put a good clothing on, and then that's not just what we talk about, taking care of your body. This body that we see actually includes a lot of things, the system in us, the internal organ that we don't usually see, and we don't know actually how they function, but we just know we are just moving, and many times we have never really paid attention to how they function. But we need to check, to take care, and apart from, again, hygiene that many of us are aware of, we need to take care of this body first by watching what we eat. What we eat. Usually, I explain the body of human person. I relate it to what they call the machine. In what way? It's like a car, automobile, where we have this part, the head, which is like the brain box of a car. And that is very, very important. And also, we have this side, our tummy, which actually holds a host of things, the kidney, the lungs, the liver, the heart, the intestine, everything that needs working together, the pancreas. And then I call that the engine of the body. There have to be coordination between the head and the brain box, and of course the engine of the body. These other parts are just parts being controlled by the head and the stomach. And we need to take care of that very well, here and here. To start with, it is recommended that at least once a year you go for total checkup in the hospital, medical checkup, to know what is happening in your body, what is happening in your system, whether your potassium is fine, or your sodium is fine, or you are having enough oxygen in your system, or to know, everything. You need to know how they function. We don't see these things, but we need to be attentive to them. Many times, we just listen to what people say. Take, for instance, somebody says, you have blood pressure. Oh, you need potassium. Oh, potassium is good for you, for your blood pressure. Yes, it is good. So take enough bananas. Yes, banana is good. But guess what? Do you know the level of potassium in your body before you begin to eat bananas? You wouldn't know unless you check up. And when you are checking up, again, it's about what we eat. So when you begin to put more things, more fruits that contain so much of potassium into your system, you begin to have excess potassium that may constitute another problem to the very problem you are trying to solve. And that is why you don't just listen to what people say about what to eat, about what to drink. You need to be sure of what your body needs. For example, your body needs just a little part of the different ingredients that you get from food. Not so much about how plenty this food is, but how important and how rich in nutrients this food is. And again, watch what you eat. Watch what you drink. Many of us take pleasure in taking alcohol. We don't even know what it's doing to our system. I hear people talk about, I can sit down and take 10 bottles of beer and this. Of course, you may not be drunk. Some can get drunk depending on your body system, but some may not be drunk. But when you are not drunk, do you know what that alcohol is doing to your liver? You don't know. We'll be talking about this as time goes on. So you need to take care of your body. Another part that you need to take care very well It's your mind. The human mind is so powerful, can build up and can destroy. It is the source of your happiness. It is the connection between you and the divine and the connection between you and somebody else. It is that actually determines the lens through which you see the universe. It is the one that makes you, or that determines sometimes, what constitutes a problem for you and what is not a problem. It is the one that is responsible for your attitude to life. So we also need to check our mind, our emotions, and of course, to imbibe what they call the emotional intelligence, and of course, to know how to recognize the processes of our thoughts so that we can live better and be happy. And how do you check also whether you are okay or you are not okay? Some you can do by yourself, by not acting impulsively, but by learning to pause a little bit before you do something. I'll give you an example. I go back to anger. Anger is natural. What do I mean is natural? Is the fact that is the way your body actually tries to defend itself. And when you see something contrary to your values or to what you expected, or you feel being humiliated, you can get angry. And that's why we call it is a secondary emotion. But to be angry is not the problem. Even scripturally, the Bible talks about that. To say that, be angry, but do not sin. Do not let the sunset meet you still angry. So the anger is not the problem. But when you're angry, what do you do with it? If you are not in touch with yourself, you may not be able to actually take control of this anger. So checking yourself emotionally deals with being in touch with yourself, to know the pattern of your thoughts, to ask yourself questions whether these thoughts are actually building you up or they are making you more miserable. And by the time you see that they are actually constituting what is not edifying for you, you are required. Well, when I mean required, it is good for you to actually approach a mental health professionals to help you in order to be able to get in touch with yourself, to know how to deal with your emotions. So you need to take care of that. Socially, that's another thing that can actually make us miserable. And we need to know how to take good care of our interactions with others. To know who to talk with, to interact with, who not to interact with, we need to learn that. It is not everybody you talk to. It is not everybody you go out with. It is not everybody's word that you even pay attention to. Again, we need to pay attention, even from the family. And of course, you don't have to say because people are relating to you in a certain way, you have to relate to others in the same way. That's about our social interaction. We are social beings. We need others to be happy sometimes, and they need us to also be happy. Even though the happiness comes from within you, what they do can actually affect the way you feel. But, again, from the inside, it is the way you interpret it that makes you actually feel exactly the way you feel. But if you don't live in a healthy relationship, how do you want to be happy? So you have to make yourself live in such a way that you promote healthy relationship by watching the kind of people you work with or what kind of environment you find yourself. Sometimes, if you have to avoid people, places, and situations, you have to, so that you can be in touch with yourself and live well. Technologically, also you need to take care of yourself. You see, our smartphones and television and many other things that we use are so important in our lives today. So we need them every now and then, even to navigate our ways, to get in touch, to know what news, this and that. As good as they are, they can become something else in our lives that will become so dependent on them, and then they make our lives miserable. We have to learn how to relate with technology, to know that these are made for us. We are not made for them. They are for you to use, but not for the technology to use you. And of course, as the global world and the society, we have to learn also how not to be too dependent on the technology as to devalue our humanity. We have to cultivate a healthy relationship with technology. Of course, it is through technology that I'm getting through to you today. But again, they are means to the end, not an end in themselves. You may think it's the source of happiness. They do not on their own constitute what makes you happy. And also, another aspect where you need to check yourself, like I said earlier, is the area of your spirituality. Of course, spirituality has been defined in different ways today, sometimes separated from religion. But you have to understand that while we have a general understanding of spirituality as search for meaning or finding purpose in life, it is also a connection with yourself, with others, and with the supernatural, with God. So, in living your spiritual life, in having a spiritual wellness, yourself, others, and God are very important, because those are the things that give you purpose for living. I have asked people asking the question, why am I here? And when you're asking yourself that same question right now, why am I here? What is going on in your mind? Again, our connection cannot even be taken away from our religion, because religion is supposed to take us back to that same connection. Dear friends, once again, it's a new episode. We'll be having different professionals coming here to instruct us, to educate us, to interact with us, and of course, to share with us things that we need to do to take care of our total self. This episode is also called, this program is also called, like I said earlier, is the Taking Care of Your Biopsychosociotechno-Spiritual Self. I repeat, taking care of your biopsychosociotechno-spiritual self. I see you next week. God bless you.
Liturujia Katoliki, sakramenti, kuungama, ekaristi, sala, nyimbo, neno la Mungu, ibada takatifu. Jiunge nasi kila siku ya Jumapili saa 1:30 usiku na Jumatatu saa 4 asubuhi kwa liturujia Katoliki na Padre Boniface Mukwe.
Kitubio au upatanisho. Sakramenti ya kitubio ndiyo sakramenti ya kuondolea watu dhambi walizotenda baada ya ubatizo. Sakramenti ya kitubio pia huitwa sakramenti ya upatanisho, ipo katika fungu la sakramenti za uponyaji. Kuna sakramenti mbili za uponyaji, kitubio na mpako mtakatifu wa wagonjwa. Dhumuni haswa la sakramenti ya uponyaji ni kuzirejeshea uhai roho zetu pale zinapougua kwa kutenda dhambi. Yesu ndiye tabibu mkuu wa roho zetu, naye yu tayari kututibu kila tunapougua.
Kupata kitubio kama skiza tune yako, tuma neno skiza likifuatwa na nambari 73810 273 kwa 811.